I'll insert in the video somewhere. I wanted to get in here before I forgot, and before I ate them all. These are the very nice cookies that my neighbors, that Wayne, the husband out of my neighbors, brought over last night when they saw me checking out the house. So that I think is pretty cool, and they are really, really tasty. The video from inside the house. One of the things I find kind of interesting, actually. So this is about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It has been sitting out in the sun all day. I just left 2 windows upstairs open during the night last night. Right there, about that much. And it is still actually really cool and comfortable in here. So, gives you an idea of your R value that you're dealing with. That just it cooling down overnight. And it is really reasonable temperature right now. So I don't anticipate being very expensive to do the AC and all that for here. I know I'm sort of just going all over the place with the video. We can peel sort of view of things and how it looks. Now it is steady at the moment and up on jacks, and I'll post a picture of that. Up on jack stands, and also it's got 6 jacks on top of that to just sort of hold it in place. We'll see. Probably come in here and clean, then start staying in here. I might start with that on tomorrow. I still have more stuff I want to do. Run to City Hall and all that good stuff today. See how far I get. And I just got to get the foundation on underneath. Right now it's sitting just over 2 feet off the ground. Hopefully that's going to be enough room to get the foundation in there without too much trouble. Now you see this door, my intention, long term, is... and I might have to plane the bottom there a little bit. You see that's catching, and we are actually level now. So I probably have a good chance I might have to plane the bottom on the door, but I can just swing it out to get it closed right now. And I think this is sort of a little bit part and parcel, this type of thing. See, like this dirt here, just give people an idea. Some stuff I'm gonna have to sand down some of the walls if I do the type of treatment like on the exterior that I want to do, just to keep that from being a problem. So there's going to be a bit of work left, and I think that's just sort of part of what you do with this kind of a house. But really, like again, I said to someone with transportation, which was almost $5,000, I don't think I spent $40,000 on everything so far, and that's going to include the fridge. It's going to be over here at the fridge. That includes the oven down here. That includes the water heater that's in the back, which is literally the big. It is the as hot as you can get instant on hot water heater. So I will never run out of hot water because that's kind of a big deal to me. It includes a shower upgrade. That includes, by the way, I forgot, this was a $600 upgrade with installation, which is a really, really good deal for an air exchanger if you haven't looked into those before. So it includes I'm talking with all that stuff. Might have been a little bit more accounting that I did have them do some work on the outside as far as the exterior staining. I already sent them some pictures, and I've posted something. This will be on the Friends of Incredible Tiny Homes. So I'll go and show you guys a little bit what I was talking about. So there's, step down. If you do this type of wood treatment, and it doesn't even show up that much in the sun here, nearly as much. It'll show up more as this gets darker. But if you do this type of wood treatment, so here's an example of sort of a splotchy effect. There was something on here, it could have even just been sap. This really should be applied, I think, right after the wood is sanded. A few places like that where they filled in just some, any of the places where they filled in with the caulking, it's not going to match in. I'm going to actually go through, and I know this sounds insane, but on some of these, if not all of these, depending on the shape they're in, I'm going to dig out the caulking, and I'm going to see if I can get something with a wood peg. You have some places here, like where you have the caulking along the edge, where it touches the wood. And obviously, I think this shows too. Again, this traveled over 2,500 miles or something in that vicinity. So there's some things that got loose that I'm going to have to tighten down. Like this board here, I'll probably pull out the caulking and tighten this back down. There's just going to be, I think, that kind of stuff if you take something this far. Actually, here's a pretty good example of what I'm talking about with what happens with the caulking. And they did, I think, a really good job getting that cleaned off of there. And it probably, with the normal wood stain, or definitely with the paint, you wouldn't have even noticed. But with this stuff, since it actually changes the chemical composition of the wood, you get that discoloration. So, but again, because how this stuff works, I can just come in here and hit these specific spots and sand it down just a little bit. Doesn't have to be a lot, just enough to get down to the wood, and reapply it, and I should be fine. So that's an upcoming project. That's not going to be an immediate project. Some spots like this might be a little bit more interesting, where they caulked between, just some two boards here. But I'll work on that. The hardest part, and where I wish I had maybe worked with them a little bit more on, was not doing anything to the knots. And we'll see how much I care about that as time goes on. That's something that's sealed up good enough. I'm not going to even worry about until it ages. And if I don't like the way it looks, I can always then that's going to take a lot of sanding or something. But I can work on it then, or come up with some sort of way to cover it. So, and two, also, then again, something like that, if ultimately I have to just paint that a gray to make it match in, I can wait until the wood is fully aged, so it's not as obvious. But you can see the area like around here, I'm going to be sanding all this stuff away and applying some more of the lifetime stuff. So I think that's a pretty minor thing, in my personal opinion. I also think, because this doesn't really change the color of other things, I don't know how they will feel about this. Personally, I don't think you need to actually worry about, say, like covering this with cardboard, and there might have been some of this around the edges where this would cover it a little better without that. I wouldn't worry about like covering the windows with cardboard. I think you could probably just spray right on top of the windows. You might want to be careful where it hits metal. I don't know if the chemical might interact with the metal and cause any kind of rusting or that kind of thing. But aside from that, it should be something where you could just apply it and then just wash the windows off. Or probably would be a lot better generally is, I would advise that this lifetime stuff be applied again as soon as the boards are ready to be put up here, as soon as they are sanded down and ready to go in, or as soon as they're on, just to make sure that there's nothing at all getting in the way. Because again, I don't see how well you can see, but there's a spot up there where you can see there's not a complete coverage. But all of this should be really pretty easy fixes. And overall, I think, especially given that it's something pretty new to them, they did a really good job with it. And I think it looks really nice. I think it's incredible how this white pine looks with this on it. Personally, I've gone way too long on this. So I'm going to go to City Hall and talk to them about utilities, see about if I can get Ron Higgins, the building inspector, come out here and take a look, see what he thinks and what he wants from me for the future. And I'll talk to y'all later.